Year-end update from Philip Hale, CEO, and Catherine Egan, COO of HART's operations.
Thank you.
Morning.
Good morning. I'm Philip Hale. I'm the CEO of HART. And behind me, I'd like to introduce our leadership team. On my right is Catherine Egan, who's COO. She manages our operations, maintenance, customer service, information technology, and she's also our HART project lead on the state-mandated consolidation study that's between HART and PSTA. On my left is Jeff Seward. He is our Chief Financial Officer. His role is also, or his functions are basically finance, of course, capital management, capital planning, strategic planning, grants and construction and everything else that we've been working on. What I'd like to do is, since we work as a team, I'd like for Catherine to do the presentation on the ridership, and I'd like for Jeff to, since it's in his department, to do the section of the presentation on our update on what I think you're interested in is our MetroRapid, which is funded by the county, plus some other projects that we have. Catherine.
Good morning. Again, Catherine Egan. Thank you for hosting us. We'll go quickly through the ridership portion. You've probably seen some of the press locally here about ridership growth. We're in our third year in a row of record ridership growth with our local transit agency. You can see we started our peaking with 2008. 2009, a slight softening with the economy. Folks were taking fewer work trips. And then we see this resurgence in ridership in the next few years. Things HART has done in the past few years to facilitate this is an expansion of late night and weekend services. Folks who take us 35 times a week will definitely take us 45 times a week. We've also added new services throughout the county to make it easier for folks to get around in their neighborhoods, such as our flex services, and we've retooled some of our express services to get folks into the downtown area for their jobs. So we're very proud of last year for the operations group carrying over 14 million passenger trips. Now, just like any public agency here in Florida and nationwide, we're carrying more folks, providing more service with less funding coming in from our various sources. So we have eliminated redundant services and we've tweaked our administrative services to make sure every dollar coming in, as much of it as possible, is a service that you see out on the street. It's the maintenance for that service, and it's our road supervisors and our dispatchers that support that service getting out there. So this has helped us draw down the budget while we're accommodating this really massive growth. Easy way to look at this is our ad valorem funding from the county is the same as in 2006, and our overall ridership has gone up 40% in that same window. So it's not doing less with more, it's doing more with the same. So again, a little bit of bragging for us, over 13 million trips last year. It's our third record-breaking year. There are 3 individual routes here in the county that carried over 1 million passenger trips last year. That's a big, big deal, and this compares very favorably to other transit properties around the country. We've also got our local routes, which have grown really strongly, and we've seen a lot of growth in the county too. Again, as we've added the late night and the weekend services, folks can get to jobs, folks can move to apartments, folks can use services and have this whole life that previously they couldn't with a more constrained schedule. At the same time, we've been reducing our vehicle hours. We've taken out, again, the redundant service. We've put some routes on more combined routing so we can get rid of one route and then have another one serve the remaining portions of it. So this has allowed us to have less service going out, but carry more folks. We're averaging 28 boardings per trip. It's a lot of folks getting off and on the bus. So when you get those calls, someone says, I see this empty bus at the end of the route, which is on my street, that bus is averaging 30 folks on that trip back and forth. It's used. We've also expanded our flex service. That's been very popular. It's the call-in ride. You essentially call in to book a trip on the flex. If it's within a zone, it'll come to the door and get you. So it's all the fun of a carpool without worrying who's going to drive it. So we do the driving for the county. We've seen a big growth in wheelchair activity as well, as we have made a lot of investments in the county to improve accessibility of bus stops. Folks can get from their neighborhoods to the stop, and then there's not a barrier to get on and use our vehicles. All our vehicles are, of course, ADA compliant and accessible. And to that extent, we've also seen a growth in our paratransit van-based services. As the ADA continues to live on, we've got entire generations now who've always had that there, who are making full use of all the services around them to take advantage of what they can do in the county. So we've got a big growth there. And with that, I'll turn it over to Jeff.
Good morning. Jeff Stewart, Chief Financial Officer for HART. What I'd like to do this morning is to briefly go through our capital improvement program, focusing on the accomplishments of fiscal year 12 and a little bit of a highlight of what we have in store for fiscal year 13. But first, without going into great detail on the financial side of it, I wanted to bring your attention to the first 4 projects on this spreadsheet. And as you may recall, these projects are funded by the county sales tax, and through an interlocal agreement between the county and HART, these projects are being completed. The reason that we have a revised budget number up there, in June of this year, after a thorough review of the projects, the scopes, and our anticipated expenditures as we move these projects into implementation, we were able to revise original project estimates, allowing an amount of money right now projected at right around $8.9 million of county funds that will not be needed pursuant to that agreement. Mr. Hale provided a memorandum to Mr. Merrill on that subject. So we are happy to say that these are coming in under what we originally anticipated, and we'll have some available funding freed up in the middle or the summer of fiscal year 2013. Now, what I'd like to do is to talk about the specific county-funded projects, a little overview of what they are and hope to accomplish, as well as where we are currently with those projects. So the largest of the projects is our MetroRapid North-South project. The total revised budget is $25 million. This is going to serve our highest ridership route, which is Route 2, which comes down Nebraska. It's going to connect our largest activity centers in the region, which is USF and downtown Tampa. We're going to have 59 stations with enhanced shelters and amenities. They're going to be specifically branded for the MetroRapid North-South. Ticket vending machines will be at our highest ridership stops. Transit signal priority, which is a separate project, which I'll touch on in a few minutes, is part of this, and it will enhance the speed and reliability of the buses on this route. It'll also be accessible through the Fletcher Park and Ride facility, which was recently acquired by HART, and again, that's another project that I'll speak about separately in a couple of minutes, which will allow easy access from I-75 to this route. And then another feature is we are laying fiber optics down the totality of this route to support both the TSP and communications to TVMs, as well as allowing, potentially allowing other agencies or organizations to be able to tap into that fiber optic in the future. So where are we with this project? We are currently under construction. 11 of those 59 stations are currently under construction. They have either had the slabs laid, or a preliminary digging and groundbreaking has occurred. Of those 59 stations, which require parcels, obviously, 29 of those parcels require acquisition by HART. 14 of those 29 parcels have been acquired to date. Along with working with the landowners, we also have several parcels which are in the process of going through the eminent domain process. So we're moving forward with the land acquisition. Our target completion date is spring of 2013, and that is not only the construction of the MetroRapid North-South, but also the operating timeline as well. So again, as part of the MetroRapid North-South project, we have the Fletcher Park and Ride. The main feature of the Fletcher Park and Ride, which I want to bring your attention to, it's going to be the first regional park and ride facility serving the Northeast County. It's also going to provide new bus route service to this area, which currently does not have service. Right now, we're in the process of designing. The designing is wrapping up, and upgrades to this facility will be paving, restriping, landscaping, and ADA compliance issues. The HART Board of Directors purchased this parcel on August 14th of this year. Design is completed, and we are going to begin construction in January of 13, and it will be completed along the same timeline as the MetroRapid North-South. Transit signal priority, the third county-funded project. Again, this will serve the MetroRapid North-South route. A TSP pilot project is underway along this specific corridor, but we will be evaluating other corridors for county-wide applications into the future once the test pilot gets going with the MetroRapid. We are using the fiber optics that are being laid right now that will result in signal reliability and connections to traffic management systems. What we hope to achieve through the transit signal priority is enhanced on-time performance and schedule adherence, specifically on this route. So the project status, again, the fiber optics are being laid, and construction again will be wrapped up and completed with the MetroRapid North-South in the spring of 2013. The fourth project, MetroRapid East-West, which is a project design and environmental study with 30% design, is currently being completed. We're finalizing the PD&E study now, and the 30% of design is expected to be completed in February 2013. The significance of only completing 30% of design is twofold. One, giving the opportunity for federal funding. You can only go up to 30% design in the preliminary stages to receive federal funding. And two, funding in general for both the construction and the operation of the future MetroRapid East-West. So once funding is made available or found in the future, we will be ready to go forward with the project. So what will the MetroRapid East-West have based on the current design features? Again, planned connection to the MetroRapid North-South, a planned extension from the airport to the city of Temple Terrace, an additional 46 stops with enhanced shelters and amenities, similarly branded as the MetroRapid North-South will be. A planned improvement of service through the West Shore Business District, interconnect at West Tampa Transfer Center, and connections to Route 30 at West Shore and Spruce. Also, a planned connection with PSTA, and it would improve mobility in the county congested roadways. So again, where are we? Finalizing, and we are expected to be done with this 30% of design in February of 2013. Now for some projects which are not under the county funding agreement, but are specific importance to the unincorporated area of the county. HART has a basic transit infrastructure program, and right now we have $5.1 million budgeted, and this program is responsible for all improvements to our shelters, making them ADA accessible with pads, shelters, and sidewalks, throughout our entire system, both within the municipalities and in unincorporated Hillsborough County. Since 2009, we have improved 285 stops, and 161 of those were done in FY 2012. Now these data points that you see are specific to unincorporated Hillsborough County as a reference point. 285 stops are proposed to be improved in the coming fiscal year. 2,850 feet of sidewalk construction has been completed within unincorporated Hillsborough County, and that also includes the necessary driveway repairs and curb repairs and ramps completed in that same phase. Project status, the various ongoing within the municipalities and in unincorporated Hillsborough County. We have projects planned all the way through the middle of 2014 to address all of our shelter needs in the system. The Yukon Transfer Center. This is the renovation of HART's oldest transfer center. This project was completed this year. We upgraded that transfer facility to attain ADA compliance. We added public restrooms, more bus bays for added capacity, improved site lighting and security, and I'm happy to report that we're having a grand opening on November 30th of this year, opening up this newly revised and renovated transfer center. Now for 2013, obviously these other projects that we spoke of will be continuing through at least the beginning of the fiscal year. One of our hallmark projects for FY 13 that will begin construction is our compressed natural gas program. And this program involves two components. One is the construction and installation of a CNG fueling station. And the second component will be the rehabilitation of our heavy maintenance and preventive maintenance buildings to be able to support CNG buses. So this is part of the Federal Clean Fuels Initiative. Why convert to CNG? Lower carbon emissions, fuel costs are reduced, and engine life cycle is increased by 40%. So where are we with this project? We are beginning design, which will begin in the winter of 2012, and planned construction and groundbreaking will be achieved in the spring of 2013. And this is federally funded with a $2.32 million grant and then a $4.7 million grant for the modifications to our facilities to be able to support the maintenance of those new vehicles. The facilities themselves have to be brought up to safety standards and code regulations to operate a CNG facility and maintenance of CNG vehicles. We are upgrading everything from the fire sprinkler systems to high vac, electrical, everything, ventilation to be able to accommodate CNG. Once complete, this facility will be LEED certified, which will result in lower operating costs to HART as a whole. And again, project status designed to begin with the CNG fueling station in the winter of 2012. We have coupled these projects together, and that's the way that we'll move forward with the procurement and the design and construction. Marion Transit Center, we are going to start working on an expansion of this center. It will serve the MetroRapid North-South, provides additional service capacity in the area, ADA upgrades and compliance, and a covered walkway to the main MTC facility. It's a site just north of the current MTC center. We also have a staging area for taxis and other regional buses to be able to make connections. Currently, we are finalizing design, and construction is to be completed in the spring of 2013. And then I won't go into these, but we have various facility improvements that are ongoing to provide a foundation for better service to the community through enhanced facilities for our employees, better fiscal stewardship and the counting of our revenues as they come in, and so on. So we have a $40 million capital improvement program for FY13. Very robust, very ambitious, but a lot of good things for the community. Thank you.
Commissioner Merman?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I wanted them to come forward today just so you could see the progress that HART is making, even with less dollars. And that's number one. But number two is our investment, the county's investment in HART, is making a significant difference, especially in the MetroRapid. Yes, we aren't doing a lot in building roads right now, but we are doing a lot in transportation to help our bus system. And we are helping people, more people get to work, more people hopefully getting to potential job employment wherever they may go. And we know this is going to increase even further. I'm hoping next year we can continue our discussion on helping to support this east-west corridor from Temple Terrace, just like we did the north-south, as we continue our budget discussions. And, you know, this is just a great investment for us. I do agree, and I probably say this all the time, I would like to see more effort go into South County and develop routes down there. We hear about it. I heard about it at my job fair. More importantly, I probably forgot to tell you that, our last board meeting. But, you know, people just are having a hard time getting around. And we had a lot of people call. They couldn't even get to the job fair. So I think we've got to take a look at some of these areas where we have a lot of population that we don't have a lot of activity right now. And there's just room to grow and room to expand. And it's a great partnership between the county and you. And I appreciate all the hard work you're doing, because I know you are doing a lot with less.
Commissioner Beckner.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You had spoken about the upgrades to make the CNG fueling stations Could you also enlighten the public as far as the transition of the fleet to go CNG, how that's going to work, and when we can expect to start seeing more of our fleet become
Certainly.
CNG?
The fleet, the plan is very basic, is that we are replacing the fleet as they reach their life cycle. And it's basically a 6 to 10 year plan. As the vehicles reach their life cycle and they're replaced, we'll be moving forward with CNG powered units as opposed to diesel. We will be starting with the paratransit, but basically we call them van service, which is our flex service and our paratransit service. We anticipate that the first delivery of those will be in, we hope, spring of 14, and then our next buy of fixed route buses, which is the heavy-duty bus that you see, which is a 40-foot bus, will come in late 14, early 15. And everything will be, well, my goal is to have everything fully completed, fully running off CNG by, I would say, 2018, 2019.
Great, thank you.
Any questions or comments? Thank you very much for the presentation.
Thank you, Philip. Your next item, Commissioners, is your 1045.